was going to say it in Demba, a local language in Zambia, but the words just disappeared. Nalibefi because Ndili Mwana Wanshiwa. I'm like this because I'm an orphan. No. Welcome back if you're back, and welcome to if you're here for the first time. First things first, most important thing, welcome back to the 155 subscribers that I have on this channel. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for actually making a commitment to the channel and saying I will come back and watch and not just passing through. Thanks for clicking that subscribe button, winner. So thanks a lot. For those who are here for the first time, welcome. My name's Taboka and I just post videos about my life, snippets. Okay, so without further ado, let's get right into this video. So as you can see from the title, you can see what this video is about. Yeah, so I'm going to smile now before I get all serious, because once I get into this topic, it's going to get all serious. So let's get into it. Own your actions. First things first, own your actions. When we do things, when we react or act in certain ways, it's no one's fault that we have done that but ourselves. So get to a point where you say, I am doing this because I am doing this. I am yelling because I am an angry person. I am, whatever bad thing that you have done is not someone else's fault. So we need to get to a point where we own our actions. We cannot always say we are doing things or we are acting in a certain way because someone else caused that. I don't know why my light keeps going off. You are in control of what comes out of here. It is no one's responsibility to decide what you're going to say, how you're going to say it. Once it comes out of your mouth, it's nobody's fault. So we need to take responsibility for our actions. We need to know that we are in control of what we say. Some people will be mean. They will come at you and they will be mean. They will insult you, they will badmouth you, they will talk about you, they will say the worst things and worst things about you. But you are responsible for how you're going to react or how you're going to respond to that person. So another thing is to respond and not react. So people will provoke you to a point where they just want to hear what you're going to say. They want to hear what your reaction is going to be. If it's difficult to not react, wait until you calm down, and then you can give your response without the emotions and everything else involved. The blame game. So I'll explain again. There are things that happen, and this is the main and the center and the heart of taking responsibility for our actions, is not blaming other people for things that are happening to us. There's that joke about people who who complain about being orphans when they're adults. No, I'm going through this because I'm an orphan. No, guys, I'm not. Let's slow down. Don't think I'm a mean person and I'm saying it's not sad when someone is an orphan or whatnot. It is very, very, very sad. It's a sad situation. But you're 30 years old and you're not doing anything with your life because you're an orphan. That's not acceptable. Blaming. I did not do well in my school because my lecturer this, that. Yes, people have to take responsibility for their actions. So that lecturer needs to take responsibility for their actions. But you also need to find a way of making your way around all of those things that are happening around you. Your surroundings are not things that you can control. God is in control of our surroundings. He's the higher power. And sometimes other people are responsible for our actions. We can't control that. You can't control what is going to come at you, but you can control how you're going to respond to it. So things happen. No, I did not do this because my husband. I did this because my husband. I'm such an alcoholic and a drug addict because my life is terrible. Oh my gosh, my husband is stressing me out. You're not the only one with the stressing out husband. Not like my husband stresses me out. That's not what I'm saying. But you're not the only one who's got a husband that's stressing you out. So that you're going to do those things is not because of your husband. You're going to do them because you want to do them. You're going to do those things. You're going to cheat. No, I'm going to cheat because my wife doesn't do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. What of those? No, she doesn't cook. She doesn't whatnot. What of those men who are the ones who cook? Is their excuse I'm not cheating because my wife, I'm the one who does the cooking? No, so that's just an excuse. It's not the reason. It's just an excuse. So we can't use. My light is getting irritating now. It keeps going off. You can't. I'm going to blame my bad lighting on my light. I can't shoot this video because my light keeps going off. No, I just need to sort it out and figure it out and do what I've got to do. I'm going to edit it and put some brighter lighting or something. Don't always blame your situations. Don't always have someone to blame for anything that is going on. Get up and go. There's one person who can be poor and another person who can be poor, but they two end up in a different lifestyle. One is going to start selling vegetables in the market. One is going to start doing what they have to do, and they'll pay their way through primary school, they'll pay their way through high school, they'll pay their way through college, they'll get a job, they'll take care of their siblings, they'll manage to become a CEO, a boss or something in a company and take care of the world, take care of their relatives, bring their relatives into the city, take care of them, take them to school as well. While the other person in the same poor situation will say, I'm like this because I'm poor. I'm like this because no. Okay, whatever situation you're going through that you take as a very bad situation, it has not happened to you alone. And I'm not using this example as why should you. There's something I hate where people say, no, but you knew your husband was cheating, but this other person actually saw them and caught them red-handed. So at least you didn't even see that. You didn't even catch them red-handed. So your situation is even better. I don't know, guys, I'm married, so these are the examples I'm going to give. Please don't take it as anything that I am personally going through. It's just examples and the world I live in. So these are the things that I hear. So that's why I'm giving those examples. Do not take it, disclaimer, do not take it as my personal stories. I'm just giving these examples because these are the things that happen around. So then you would say that, that is not the point here. The point is you have something as bad as the other person. Let's say you both caught the person red-handed. What are you going to do about it? One is going to get up and go and just say, I'm going to take care of my life. I'm going to take care of the children. The children, life goes on. The children need me. They need a parent. They need a mother. They need someone who's going to take care of them. And the other one would just was and stay and just cry forever. Now my life is over. This has happened to me and whatnot. Or the other person will go and beat up this woman. I mean, we hear of this women being beaten up all the time. Beaten up because she did this, that to my husband. But then there are others who we never hear of. But they've gone through the same situation. The same thing has happened, but they've done something else about it. So, my point is, before I go too far, do not blame your actions. Do not find something to blame all the time when you do things. It's not that thing's fault. It's not that person's fault that you're doing what you're doing. You're doing what you're doing because you want to. Reaction is your responsibility. So you're responsible for how you're going to react. And responsibility is also taught. So I'm a mother. Some of you are mothers, parents, whatever you are, or children out there, or whatever you are, you have influence over other people. If there's someone who's under you who listens to your advice, you are responsible for helping them to also grow up as a responsible person. Children will come to parents and say, I did not do my homework. I didn't write my homework in my book because my teacher didn't do this, that. And you as a parent, go and get your phone in front of that child and call the teacher. Hey, Mrs. Who and Mr. Who and what. My child, this. We pay a lot of school fees and our children should not be doing. That child is listening and they're learning that when something happens, always have someone else to blame. In this case, the teacher. In this case, the school. Or the other way around could be the teacher. You go to school, why haven't you got your homework? My maid didn't pack my homework in my bag. My mom didn't pack my homework. And at home time, when the mother comes to pick up the child or the helper or whoever it is, and in front of that child, you go to that parent and say, no, this child didn't bring the homework. Please, mom, please make sure you pack the child's homework in their bag. Please, dad, please, maid, can you please make sure you always pack the child's homework in their bag? No. Talk to that child and say, yo, are you the only one in the class who did not write your homework? Did the whole class not take their homework? Because it's your teacher's fault. So that means everyone didn't take. No, others took. So how come you're the only one who did not take your homework? How is it the teacher's fault when you're the only child? Same situation, same teacher in the class, same thing, same time to write the homework, but you're the only one. Why? Is it the teacher's fault? Or at home, why is it the maid's fault that you haven't packed your homework? Can't you pack the homework yourself? It's your homework after all. Be responsible. Take responsibility. Oh, this child insulted me, so I beat him up. So it's his fault, and you call that parent. Your child was doing A, B, C, D, and the child is listening. It's always my friend's fault. If I beat up someone, it's not my fault, it's their fault. No, that child is learning. So we should be able to teach responsibility to people who we have under our care. Because these are things that people will grow up with, always saying, it is not my fault, it's always someone else's fault. Something else's fault. It's not me. Yo, grow up. Take responsibility for your life. Excuses are easier. So one reason why I was like that. I mean, I've been like that for a very long time. I always had someone else to blame. I am a Kasuli. So there's always someone up there who you blame. Why didn't you do this? Oh, my big sister didn't do it. Oh, my brother didn't do this. And as a last-born, Kasuli is last-born in my language, you get away with a lot of things. And slowly, you get to a point where you don't know how to take responsibility for your actions. It's always someone else's fault. No, I'm like this because this. I'm like this because this. No. You are like that because of you. It's not someone else's fault. Take responsibility. It's difficult, it's shameful, it's hard, it's painful. I mean, if you've done something wrong, you've been caught in a lie, you've been caught in something terrible, something bad, it's way easier to just find someone else to blame. I mean, she's such a nice person, but look at how she's being treated. It's not her fault. So she should cry for the rest of her life because it's not her fault? So it's not her fault that happened. Yes, but it's her fault what she does with that. What is she going to do next? Is she going to remain and just be in that situation because it's not her fault? No, she needs to get up and go. He needs to get up and go. He lost his job, so there's nothing he can do. We just have to take care of. He can go and do tamanga. He can go and find something to do. Let me give a practical example. My dad lost his job very young. I don't know how old he was. Well, I wasn't done with my life. Like, it was in between raising children. So I was in grade 7. He was working in the mines, and from the Copper Belt, old ZCCM and KCM, we had life. We had not free school. I think they paid like a percentage of something, but not much. So we went to private schools, we did that. We had access to the clinic, we had access to the library, we had access to the gym, we had access to mine cities. You know what mine life is if you've grown up there. We know how it is. So he lost his job in the mine. And guys, he had to get up and go. I mean, children are growing. You can't just sit down and say, oh, I've lost, so life is over. I'm only knowing some of these things later on when I was an adult and I could think about it. How did he do these things? So you only learn some of these things when you've grown up, and then you know that someone really worked hard to get you to where you are. I went to school. I finished school. I went to college. He paid for my college. I finished college. Well, that's why we grow up and we can pay back, and we can be those children who pay back to our parents. But things like that. Same situations, others would say, no, life is over and whatnot. We go through the same things with others, but life has to go on. And now as an adult, I have to also get to a point where I know that I will go through situations. I'll go through depression, you can go through something terrible, and I'll just say, I'm just going to lie down here and cry about it forever and ever. No! My children are growing, they need mommy there. If you're an adult, you have people looking up to you. You can't afford to say, I can't do this because of this, that. There are children who are growing who need your guidance. They need your leadership. They need your help. They need you to be there for them. You cannot just give up. You have to take responsibility for your life and your actions and get up and go. There are siblings of yours that need you to be there for them. There are children that you've given birth to that you need to take care of. No, I can't discipline my children because my husband. Was your husband having those children alone? You had them with him. I can't do this because of my wife. No, there was a family event you didn't attend to. No, I'll call my wife first. There's that joke about marriage where people say you get married so you can have someone to blame. So if you don't do right things with the family, you have someone to blame. No, I'm not doing this because of my spouse, because of my wife, because of my husband, or whatever it is. No. You have to take responsibility for your own actions. At the end of the day, you are to blame for whatever happens in this realm. So, yeah. We all make mistakes. If that's a comfort, that's something to take comfort in. The fact that it's okay to own up. It's okay to take responsibility. You will get embarrassed. It will be bad. People are going to laugh. I've done this, I've done that, and I have to own up, guys. I'm not the first one to do that. I'm not going to be the last one. You're not the first one. You're not going to be the last one. Not an excuse to keep doing wrong, but that's just something to help pass them. It will be embarrassing. It will be shameful, but we have to move on. Life goes on. Yes, we've done those things. It's bad. It's terrible. There's some bad, terrible things we've done, but life has to go on. We take responsibility and we move on. Okay, so as I come to the end of this, the main thing that we should do, if you've gotten the privilege of getting to the end of this, let's go on this journey together of picking ourselves up and moving on. Y'all, it's enough of people having someone to blame. If there's any reason why we should practice doing this, when we die, when we go to heaven, and wherever, when we face judgment, we are going to get to a place where we have to explain to God why we chose the life that we chose. And we're not going to say, I did it because of my friends. There are things that will happen and you're so embarrassed. You're like, my friends are going to shame me for doing this. They're going to shame me for making this decision. In front of God, you're not going to say, I didn't believe in you because my friends. You had that voice deep down in your heart telling you this is wrong. There is a God. Everyone is saying there's no God, but deep down you know that there is a God. Deep down you know this thing that everyone is supporting and everyone is speaking about. We don't want to be traditional and old-fashioned. These are the new lives. These are the things we believe in now. We forget about those things that were put in our minds, and now we should live like this, that. But deep down you're like, I don't think this is right. I don't think this is true. But you're just like, no, but everyone's going to laugh at me. Is that what you're going to tell God? I didn't do this because everyone? No, we're going to say that because you had the choice to do it and you chose not to. And we are going to have to be responsible for that, and we're going to have to explain ourselves and explain why we decided to do what we did. So pick yourself up and move on. Replace why with how. If you don't take anything out of everything I've said, remember this. Instead of why has this happened, why have I gone through this situation, why think of how can I use this situation to make me a better person? How can I go through the fire and not take out the scars, but be refined like gold? Gold goes through fire so that it comes out looking beautiful, so that gold can come out. How can I take this fire that I'm going through and come out refined? Not why am I going through this fire? Why is this happening to me and not to that one? Why? How can I take this bad situation and make it better? How can I go through these terrible things? How can these people do these terrible things to me? No. People will do terrible things to us. People will hate us. People will mistreat us. People will not be loyal. People will lie about us. People will cheat on us. People will do those terrible things. But then what? How are you going to take those bad situations and become a better person? Let's get up, go, grow up, and take responsibility for our actions. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.